Welcome everybody to this video where we're going to be looking at how you can move the player to the next or previous marker from the current player position. This is the fourth video in the moving player within Premiere Pro little mini series that we've got going. Grab a jug of water and let's get going. Coolio. So this being the fourth video, definitely advise you check out the previous three. We're going to build a lot on the algorithm that we discussed within the edit point, moving the player to the next and previous edit point video. But the gist of it is basically we are going to, instead of using the edit points to calculate the difference between the current player position and the edit points, we're going to copy all of that code and just make them the marker positions, right? So our algorithm is basically saying we want to move to the next or the previous marker, right? And how do we do that? Well, we need some way to calculate which is the next marker to the right and which is the next marker to the left. So to do that, we create this player position, right? We got the player position, and we're going to go and get all of the start ticks of the markers. Basically calculate the difference between the markers and the current position. If they're negative, we're going to the left. We know that the markers are to the left of the player position. If they are positive, they are to the right, right? The difference between the marker points and the player position. Once we got that, we can sort them. Ditto the edit point movie. Cool. So only difference that we basically need for this is instead of looping through all of the tracks and all the clips on those tracks to get the start points of the clips, we actually need to loop through all of the markers and get their start points. So to do that, we're going to use this sequence.markers attribute. And if you're new to Extendscript, be sure to check out these documents, the documentation on the Extendscript within Premiere Pro. You'll see that there is a lot of things, one of which is the marker collection, and that's basically how we're going to be accessing our markers, is we're using this app.project.sequences. So we're not going to the sequences and addressing all of the sequences, we're actually just going and to the active sequence. And then we're saying .markers, right? So we get our marker collection over here. So marker collection has got a few methods. These are create, delete, get first, last, next, and previous marker. So we've got a video coming up about how to do markers within Premiere Pro. But for here, all we need to know is we want to loop through all of the markers. And we can construct this little for loop over here. So for loops within programming, you need three things. You need your start point. You need to know for what condition do we keep looping. And then you need to tell the programming language how to increment what you are doing each loop. Right. So the first attribute within the for loop, is basically where we're starting. So we got this current marker variable, which is going to be our first marker within the collection. Then we want to keep looping whilst that current marker is not undefined, right? And then each loop, we want to update that current marker to the collection's get next marker of the current marker. Okay. So this can be a bit confusing. There are a few other ways to do that. We can also, like we did with the tracks, create this little dummy variable saying, you know, marker number. But look at this piece of code and try and get the gist of it. It's a much more elegant way to actually loop through markers within Extendscript. Cool. Basically what we're doing then is using the start ticks and just pushing our current markers start ticks in there. The rest of the code, ditto what we did in the edit point video. Doing this whole algorithm of taking the difference, saying let's sort that difference. Well, first filtering, you know, if it's left or right, then sorting it, ascending or descending, depending which time, taking the first value in that array, and then setting the player position to that point. Cool. If we now have got some markers, right? So I'm in here in Premiere Pro, and I have got I've added a few markers using the Automator Plus. I've just gone and added some beat markers over here. And basically what we want to do is just test our code, right? So one way we can do that is running it from here within Extendscript. So currently I've got this direction set to right. Boom, there we're going to the edit point on the right. Hitting it again. Then we're going to the edit point on the right. There we're going, boom, boom, boom. Okay, we're at edit points. Move to markers, executing markers. Move to next marker. Cool, so if we're happy with this code, then we can go and copy paste that into the custom Extendscript automation within the Automator Plus. Or we can go and wrap it into a little function that I've done here. Move to marker. Because I've executed this Extendscript, this move to marker function is actually available within my Extendscript session. So I can just go into the Automator Plus, add a little Extendscript code, and we can say, hey, I want to move markers to the right. So I'm going to just assign that on a R shortcut key. Let's do that. So we're moving right. And if I want to add one for the left, let's go and execute some custom Extendscript. Awesome, we're going left. Boom, left, L for short selection. Great stuff. And now I'm actually quite easily able to assign some shortcuts and move my player left and right. Cool, so this automation, this Extendscript of moving the player to the next marker, not super useful and of its own. Premiere Pro has got shortcuts to do that, but think a bit broader on how you can use the ability to determine the next marker left or right of the edit point to apply some effects to the clip currently at that place, or how you can make a cut at the edit point to the right. And you can start stringing together some of this Extendscript code to make a much more streamlined workflow.